10 questions you've always wanted to ask a deaf person. That's right, folks. I'm going to answer every one of these 10 questions, and it was found on Vice.com. These questions were intended for a girl named Caroline Gudme. There's this quote right here. My mom claims I was really upset the first time I heard the sound. Apparently, I just cried for ages. Some say she's still crying. You can hear the faint crying, weeping sound out in the distance, but not the deaf people. So let's start with the first question. Can you describe what being deaf feels like? Sure. This is what it sounds like. There you go. That was easy. Let's try the next one. So when you wear that hearing aid, what can you hear? That's a good question. I assume that a lot of deaf people hear a lot of different things. Some they can hear better, some they can hear worse. For me personally, I can't hear the letter S very well. If you tell me something that's plural, chances are I may not know if it's plural or singular. You're better off telling me if it's multiple rather than using the letter S on the end of the word. Another thing is I can't quite hear an ambulance running down the street very far away while I'm still in my car. It's too quiet for me. There's a certain threshold that I can hear. I can also tell the difference between a man's voice and a female's voice, but I can't tell the difference between that female's voice and the other female voice unless I got to know them for a very long time, like some sort of nuances you picked up in their voice. And those nuances are different for everyone. Next question. When you were still single, how did you used to pick up guys? Okay, obviously this was not intended for me, but I guess if I can bench press maybe 180, I can pick them up that way. Let's see what she said. Making eye contact is the most important thing. And then it's all about your body language and the vibe you're giving off. Okay, so let me show you a surefire way. You wanna get your leg up high. You wanna kind of make crazy eyes at them. Some intense staring. Yeah, and then you wanna give them the tongue flick. It's easy as that. You cannot fail. They won't be able to resist you. Favorite band? I understand why a lot of people are curious about what deaf people like to listen to. I don't have one. I really don't have a favorite one. I just listen and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. That's great. And then I go on with my life. That's about it. Wait, what? 10 questions you've always wanted to ask the Teletubby. They're weird Care Bears with human faces and TVs in their body. What more do you want to know about them? No, don't get distracted. Can you read lips? Yes and no. If I know this person for a very long time, for me, I think I surmise it takes me about at least a year to really pick up all the nuances and the tips and shape forms that people speak. So if I know that person for about a year and I have long interactive conversation with that person, eventually I'm going to start picking up things naturally that I know automatically what that person said. And it makes it easier to fill in the gap. If you're a complete stranger, type it down or write it down. Don't expect me to force read you. It's not gonna happen. Unless you have a time machine, then sure. Let's do it. Let's hop in and teleport away. What's the one thing you can't do because you're deaf that you wish you could? Hear your moron! Would you swap one of your other senses for the ability to hear? Let's see what she said. I would hate to lose my sight, so maybe my sense of smell? Wow, she's not much of an idiot than I thought she would be. That's actually a good thing to get rid of, because taste buds are 80% smell. If I can get rid of smell, I don't have to smell my friends farting or burping or whatever, making funky noises, smells, and all that stuff. I can eat for substance. I will never get fat. I will never have to worry about that. I can eat whatever I want and be perfectly fine with it. Salad? Done? It's delicious. What's your favorite type of visual entertainment? She said, I would really like going to the theater, but I'm also a big fan of Desperate Housewives. Basic! Okay, no, those are lame. I think some of the coolest stuff to look at is like all the gory action fight in the action movies, or how about like the Grand Canyon or any kind of nature marvel. Go and see the pyramids. That'd be awesome. Looking at Niagara Falls, that's beautiful. Or how about going on a roller coaster at Disney World, watching yourself do the loop-de-de-loop? Or how about seeing a mascot doing silly things on a baseball field? Those are all amazing, cool things. Desperate Housewives? Come on. Nobody wants to watch a bunch of old women bicker about, oh, my pearls are longer than your pearls. Whoa. No one cares. Do you have any idea what you sound like during sex? Wow, that's a really personal and embarrassing question to answer. Regardless if you're hearing or deaf, you shouldn't really ask anyone, especially during an interview of a complete stranger you just met. But not to worry, I know that a lot of people want to hear answers to this question, so I brought a friend here who can help me out here with this. It's Mr. Trashy! Say hello to everyone, Mr. Trashy! That's adorable. Now, Mr. Trashy, do you know what deaf people sound like when they're having intercourse? Hey, no, it's okay. No need to be embarrassed. It's perfectly fine and perfectly natural. I'm going to answer that question for you. Mr. Trashy, did you know that everyone who has intercourse is on a spectrum? People feel and make noise differently how they want to make. They could be all the way from the bottom end of a dead fish, or all the way to the other end of screaming for their life like as if they were on fire. Now, anyone could be anywhere between those two spectrums, and that includes the deaf people. Well, looks like you're getting a little bit more comfortable here now, aren't you? Isn't that right, Mr. Trashy? Aw, look at that little boopies. That's alright. Now, hey, no. There's a time and place for that. Not right now. No, I think we're gonna have to put you away, buddy. We're gonna have to put you away. Do another thing. Do honestly people think that deaf people just sign furiously while they're having sex? They're just like... Okay, so it's time for the final question. What sound would you most like to hear? She said I would love to hear the sound of nature. Yeah, nature's cool. Yeah, whatever. No, know what? Step aside nature. That's too general. That's just too vague. We need something a little bit more specific. I want to hear some weird, unique sound. Like a death rattle of someone dying. When someone died, I don't understand why they claim it's the rattling. I don't get it. I don't hear anything. Do they eat a rattlesnake before they die? What happened? I want to hear what Metallica sounds like in concert. I want to really blast my eardrum and get every single note in my ear. I want to know why everyone likes theremin, or why everyone hates those accordions played by the Polka King. Stuff like that. Cool stuff. Alright, Mr. Trashy, I guess that's all the questions we have for today. You want to say goodbye to everyone? Hope you have a good one.